Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a brand new tutorial. Today in this tutorial we'll be making a cool looking low poly car. Something like so. So if you haven't seen my city video yet, I added some cars to of course the city, and I'm just going to be showing you a tutorial on how I made them. So let's just close that and open up Blender. So I'm going to try whiz through this, although I want you guys to know about everything and what I do and stuff. That I recorded an episode, a tutorial, this exact same tutorial, and it ended up being 25 minutes long, and I just thought that was ridiculous. No one wants to listen to that, so I'm just going to go at a reasonable pace. So we're just going to do some modeling first. So we're going to front view, and we're just going to scale our default cube down. Going to top view and scale down our y-axis, up our y-axis, and like so on our x, and that's going to be the base of our car. So I'm just going to pull this base, and now we're going to Shift A, and we're going to add another cube. I'm going to drag our cube up, across, and go into edit mode and wireframe mode by hitting Z on your keyboard. And I'm going to the side view in orthographic mode and scaling down our bottom by selecting B, like so, selecting those bottom vertices and scaling them up. We're then going to select our top vertice here by hitting B and dragging it back like so, and we're just going to scale. And as you see, it is still quite fat. We're just going to scale that on the x-axis, scale it down a bit. As you see, this is too pointy, so we're just gonna go like so. And pull it to the back of our base here, and we're going to call this the roof. So up here, double click, name it roof. Okay, now we're going to make our grill. So we're going to hit tab on our keyboard and on our base layer to enter edit mode, and then in wireframe mode we're then going to hit W and click subdivide, and we're going to subdivide it 3 times, and we're going to exit wireframe mode and click down here to get our face select, and we're going to hit C. We're going to select these 4, and we're just going to simply scale them down. Scale and hit E on our keyboard to extrude them, and we're just going to extrude them downwards, so it's like a nice gap for our grill to go in. So our car is looking good. By the way, I'm using the number pad to control my views, but you can just go to view and just edit from there. Okay, now we are just going to make our grill right now. So we're going to add another cube. We're going to scale this. We're going to scale this on our y-axis, so it's quite thin, and we're going to scale it on our x-axis like so. Go to our front and scale on our z-axis as well. Just move it forward, and we've got it so far. And we're going to make it somewhat like this. Reasonably thin, so it is looking good, and we're just going to shove it into this wall like so. We're then going to just drag this out and add a quick modifier. We're going to add an array modifier to make our life so much more easier, and we're going to give it a relative offset on our x-axis 1.5. and we're going to scale that up. In fact, I might give it 2. Yeah, and lower your count. We're then going to add another cube, and we're going to scale this down on our Z axis instead, and on our Y axis. And then on our X axis, we're then going to scale it up. Oh no, it's actually a good size. And it's a bit too wide, so we're just going to scale it on the Y axis. And again, we want a checkered pattern on our grill, so I'm just going to bring it up like so. Then I'm going to add a modifier, an array modifier, and a set of the X-axis offset. We're going to add it on the Z-axis. -2, so we don't get too many. And there we go. We're going to hit apply on both of these, and then we're going to shift to select both and hit join over here. So now we've got our grill going. It's looking quite nice. Okay, now we're going to quickly make our tires. So the tires are very simple. They're just a simple icosphere with a cylinders, just to make it look like a wheel. So we're going to add a icosphere, we're going to drag it out, and we're going to add a decimate modifier. We're going to set it on 0.7. Hit apply, just so it's still there. But we're going to scale it on our X-axis and on our Z-axis, and we're just going to scale it also on our Y-axis and move it across like so. So a shape similar to that. So I've just been using my scaling tools and I've got a nice shape like so. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to shift A and I'm going to add a cylinder. Now with our vertices, I'm going to give them 6 vertices. There we go. And we're going to scale it, and we're going to rotate it on the Y-axis at 90 degrees, and we are simply going over here, scaling it down, and we're going to scale it down even more, push it back into our icosphere, and we're going to shift D to duplicate it and scale it a smaller one and put that one in the center like so. Okay, so we've got a nice shape going. So I'm just going to join those, and I'm just from there I'm going to select both of them, the tire and my wheel, and just move it down there. I'm going to do the same over here. I'm going to drag it over and hit RZ 180, and I'm just going to push it down like so. I'm going to do the same, shift D down there. Now under a car we have beams connecting the tires. I'm not going to go to the extremes and map all these beams out. I'm just going to simply add some simple cylinders. So to do this, we're just going to shift A and we're going to add a cylinder with 8 vertices, and we're going to again rotate it on the Y-axis 90 degrees, and we're going to bring it forward. So our little dot here is in line with our tires, and I'm just going to scale it down and bring it down like so. It's still a bit too big, and it is looking superb. We're then going to scale it on the X-axis like so and bring it up. On our top we're going to shift D and drag it back again so it's in line. Looking good. Okay, now the last step is adding our lights. Oh wait, sorry, 2 more steps. Adding our lights and our exhaust pipe. We're then going to add another cylinder, this time with 6, and hit our X90. And we're then going to make some lights. Just go into front view, scale it down across, and push it in. Drag it into the center of our base and hit scale it on the Y-axis. And drag it back and scale it. And that is good, because we want it both coming out there and over there. I'm going to duplicate that, Shift D to duplicate, and make sure it's a similar location, and there we have our lights. Now we're going to simply make our exhaust pipe. So we're going to go Shift A, we're going to add a cylinder, this time with 8 vertices, and we want to go down here to the cat fill type. Instead of Nigon, we're going to add a triangle fan. And we're going to rotate this X90 on our X-axis, of course. Okay, so I feel like I've been rushing, but I want to give you time. And we're going to add a loop cut and slide up there. So if you didn't get what I just did, I just went into edit mode, wireframe mode, with that cube selected, hit Control R, this purple thing comes up, and I just bring it up to the top here and click. I'm then going to exit out of that, and as you can see, it's still in edit mode without wireframe on. You can see this cut here. We're then going to select our little face select and hit C on our keyboard, and bam. And we just selected all of those faces. And we're just going to scale those down and hit E on our keyboard, and we're just going to pull it in like so, and that is looking terrific. Just going to pull it, stretch it out like that and scale that down. Bring it down like that. And as you can see, our hole is facing the other way, so the easy way to fix this is RX180. RZ180, sorry guys. RZ. Just position this at the back here. Scale it up. And it is looking great. And there we go. So that is our modelling process done, and at a pretty good time, 13 minutes. Not bad for me, I'm a bit of a chatterbox. Well, when it comes to tutorials, in real life, no. Anyway, so if you want to stick around for the materials, it's up to you. I'm just using diffuse materials for this. There's no compositing involved at all. It's all relatively simple, and I'll be doing some lighting as well from now on. So if you've had enough of my voice and you just want to skip, and you just wanted to know about the modelling, this is where you want to end the video and go back if you didn't get everything. So let's get started on our lighting and materials. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up my lighting. So I'm going to Shift A and I'm going to add a plane, scale it out, and drag it down. It doesn't really matter because it'll change very soon. Now enter edit mode and select our edge select mode, and we're going to select that. Our side, hit E, stretch it out like that, and E, and drag that up like so. So we've got a shape like that. We're all going to add a subdivision surface modifier, and with a subdivision of 3, apply, And we're going to rotate this so our car sits nicely on top like that. And instead of a point light, we want to edit our little point light and give it a sunlight. And I want our light being front on, so I'm just going to rotate it so our light is moderately front on, like so. I'm liking that. Let's just get our camera here, and I'm just going to have a look into my camera, see where we are. That's actually not a bad position, so just the default position, and the camera is all up to you to edit. I'm just going to move that across. And where's my light? My light needs to be with my camera. My camera is just going to be like that. I want my light facing the same way, so like that. Okay, make sure in the cycles render for lighting, and up here we're going to add our size to 0.3 for our shadow, and we're going to use the nodes. We're going to set our strength to 2, and we're just going to pick a light color like that, and we're going to give this a quick render. So I have to say myself, my car is looking very nice here. Okay, now let's just make it even more nicer, and we're going to add some nice materials. So this is where you're going to learn about the windows. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a new material for a roof and base. And we're going to give it a nice red. Just adding a viewport color so you guys can see. Roof and base, and we're going to make a new one called tire. Give this a moderate grey, and apply that to all of my tires. Okay, I'm also going to add a material for our wheels, so we're going to go new, and we're going to call it, whoa, bad spelling, and we're just going to lift that up, like so. Wheel, that's just a pure white colour for our wheel. I'm going quite fast. This would probably be the speed I'd do if I was normally doing this by myself, but you guys are here watching, so I have to. So maybe slow down a bit. I'll slow down a bit. And the grille color, we're going to set to this color. And now for the lights. Lights. And select a yellow. And another yellow for our lights. And the last thing is our exhaust, and we're going to give this a grille color. Now, we want to add windows. So we are simply going to go hit 3 on our keyboard, enter edit mode and wireframe mode, and we're going to add some cuts. So we're going to hit Control R, and we're going to bring our cut over here, and a Control R again, bring it back over here. We're going to go to our front view, hit Control R, add a cut over there, and Control R, add a cut over here, Control R, add a cut up here, and we'll add one more cut down here. Now, we're going to make a new material. I'm going to call this windows, and it's going to be a moderate blue. Oh, nice. Moderate blue, something like that. And hit tab, out of wireframe mode, and select those faces that we've just created using our face select tool, and we're going to hit our windows and hit assign. And we have just created our windows, looking nice if I don't say myself. And our car is ready to render. and I would always render at 200 samples down here. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, but I'll just render at 10 so I can actually get something done and render. We need to add a material here for our plane. We'll call this ground, and we'll just give it a nice green. And there we have it. The final product, and it's my low poly car in Blender. Let's just edit. Where's my light? Just going to bring it back over here. Hit render. And thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I shall catch you in my next video.